We're in the galleries of the Orange County Museum of Art in Newport Beach, California, and these are some interesting and funky pieces of contemporary art exhibited in the Art Since the 60s California Experiment show. By the way, my name is Liz, and I'm a member of OCMA's Teen Art Council. We're a group of aspiring artists interested in learning more about the art world and creative process. This year, we met with one of the featured artists in the exhibition, Kim Abelies, who told us about her own work and how she made it. Would you believe me if I told you that you can make art out of smog?
And these did, like I said, about things starting on a personal level, came primarily out of a frustration for a factory next door to my studio and trying to go through the city channels to get them to at least increase the length of the stacks. Basically, it was spewing out formaldehyde, and a lot of artists live in these kind of areas because that's the cheap industrial areas, right? So it is a problem, I think, for a lot of artists when we have to go to these manufacturing areas. So I really needed some way to make a voice, and basically what the process is that I cut out pretty elaborate stencils and I placed them on my rooftop, and all the particulate matter is very heavy, and when it falls upon these pieces and I remove the stencil, the image is made from that smog in the air. And depending on where I've done these, it's different kinds of particulate. You know, if you're around manufacturing with fibers, for instance, that'll be on there. Obviously, oil products and exhaust and emissions from cars and trucks would be landing on it. Small bits of rubber when the tire hits the road fly into the air. So all these things are lingering, and that is what makes that visibility problem.
Kim took us into the galleries to tell us more about her smog collector series.
Cut out the stencil, except for Reagan. I used their official presidential portrait. You know, they each have one. So if you look in like Google the U.S. government, you'll get the official one. So yeah, I cut them out. So the idea was, I really had to think of it in terms of two tones, right? And so, for me, that's part of the fun always was in terms of artistically, like translating how I would make that figure ground thing happen.
Kim stayed to help us with the project, and since we were learning about the inner workings of the museum, she showed us how to create miniature museums of our own, inspired by many museums past artists had created, such as Marcel Duchamp. We talked about why people collect things and what kinds of things they collect. We compared personal collections with museum collections, and talked about what kind of museum we would start if we had the chance.
Some are small reproductions of it, and you can see, when you see this piece in a museum, they usually display it in some kind of configuration like this so you can get the idea of it. So it's all the little parts of this as a museum. And so the things that he's made in there are pieces that maybe you're familiar with through maybe art classes or something, but these are called the ready-mades. That's really what he's most known for.
We all had to come up with a design for our personal museum and decide what kind of objects to collect and display in it. Then we curated an exhibition of our own work and installed it at the Orange Lounge Gallery in Costa Mesa. We called the show Jenny Loves Tchotchkes because everyone loved to show off their collections of favorite stuff.
This is my museum. It's the Museum of Historical Movies, and it's about movies in the context that they were made in. It's in the shape of a popcorn tub.
Hi, did the Museum of Pop Pins. This is my museum. I got the idea from my sister, who has a pin collection also. This Tinkerbell pin was my mom's when she was a kid, and she gave it to me. Are all my band pins. And I did little pin tables outside. And I made little chairs for people to sit on when viewing the pins. And this is my pin museum.
This is my museum of doll collection, and there's all different sections to the room. And then if you see the overally, it's like the bear face, and then it's like pink for that. There's like all small dolls that I made for like miniatures. There's like bears and the cow, giraffe, and pig, and all different stuff. This is my museum. Yay!
This is my Museum House of Hat miniature collection, and as you can see, it's a hat, and I think it really shows the diverse number of hats that have adapted over the years of different kinds of hat making and stuff. I don't know, I just really found hats interesting. My dad has a hat collection, so I chose to do a miniature collection of hats. And I really enjoyed making my hat piece, even though it took a really long time and it was really hard work. It was worth it because I will cherish it forever.
This is my Museum of Cult Classic Movies, and basically it's a collection of my memories I had when I had movie nights with my friends. It was the 4 main movies, and basically it relates to the social aspects of the memories I have, like the whole togetherness of the drive-in movies I had.
This is my Never Never Plans museum, and the idea behind it was that it would be a collection of lost causes. So up on the top, it's the War for Peace, the war in Iraq right now. And underneath, it's the diet obsession in America. That, you know, everyone's like worshiping their diets, but we're still all obese, you know. And then the third one is the lost cause of tolerance. And there's just like different, you know, we've come really far, but we still have a lot farther to go. And then this level is communism, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. The bottom one is like kind of the lost cause of the family dinner, and just that the dynamic has changed so much. So. Yeah.
After all of the hard work we put into our miniature museums, we got to invite family and friends to see them at the opening of our exhibition. It was great to share all that we had accomplished, and it was really fun. I hope you'll get involved at your museum too. You won't regret it.